Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hold on.
I can hear you.
Trying to get this to work. Hold on. I've never done this shit before. Can you hear me?
Can you
I
hear me?
can you I can't hear you.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Hold on. Shit. Hello? I just see a black screen on my end.
Okay, give me 1 second. 1 second. Hold on. Damn, hold on. 1 second. Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Say it again.
Can you hear me?
Hold on. I can barely hear you now. Like it's on the low end,
Okay,
but
hold
my
on.
mic's or my mute volume's all the way up.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Hold on.
Let me make sure I'm good.
All
Hold
right,
on.
say it again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, I got you. I got you. That was on my end. That's my bad.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right,
cool.
cool.
All right, so is blood always required for atonement?
Right,
Is that
yeah.
the question?
Yeah. Is blood always
Uh,
required for atonement?
According to the New Testament, no. Jesus Christ was that ultimate sacrifice. You don't have to sacrifice. He got rid of the sacrifice. So in my point of view, no. But according to the Old Testament, it kind of looks so.
Okay, so
So
why
that's
do
I
we
guess uh-huh.
go ahead, finish.
So I was gonna say, to me, it's always been expressed if you're gonna follow the old laws and you have to follow them to the T. Like if you don't accept that Christ was that sacrifice and you want to follow the old laws, then you have to follow it to the T, every word verbatim.
Is that what God requires? That we
Um,
have to follow the sacrificial laws with no temple?
Now the no temple thing, as far as I've read that, yeah, you have to have this temple. There's no substitute. So the question is, how can you atone if there is no temple? What or how can you atone at this moment if there's no temple or no priest?
Okay. There's several ways to atone without a temple and a priest.
But it
Prayer,
says, okay, I'm
prayer,
gonna let you finish. Okay.
prayer, fasting, repenting, um, prayer, fasting, repenting, confession, having a humble heart. Them are
But you're
them
just
are
saying
them are substitute. Them are
those
sub.
aren't even. But that's just what the New Testament requires. That's all you're saying.
No,
The
no,
only
I don't need.
thing.
I don't need the
Yeah.
New Testament.
But
I
so
don't need
let
to.
me ask you this.
Hold on, brother.
No,
Hold on, brother.
hold on.
Hold on, brother. Hold
All
on,
right,
brother.
all right, all right,
Hold on, brother.
all right.
So
Because
according to what God
I
says,
don't think this topic is the real question. I think this is
hold
my
on, brother.
question for
Hold
you.
on, brother. Hold on.
Why don't you think he
Give us a
exists?
second, brother. Can
All
I have
right,
a
all right,
second?
all right, all right.
So
I get
according to
heated, man.
God,
All right.
according to God, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so according to God, according to what God says out of His own mouth
Yeah.
and His own word, which you can only find in the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot find where
Mm-hmm.
God or the Father or Yahweh, whatever
Mm-hmm.
name you use,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
cannot find that name or His
Right.
word that
It
comes
was
directly from Him
no.
in the New Testament.
It was a covenant that was created between the people. They
What do you mean?
created that covenant. They came to that understanding. That was the agreement.
What was the agreement?
Sacrifice for atonement.
No, that was the agreement that the people came up with. Are you saying
Yes, that
so?
was the
When the Most
agreement that the
High,
people came
when
up with.
no, when God implemented the sacrificial law, that was a
Yes.
law from God. That wasn't a law from the people, right?
Was that from Moses, correct?
That was from God. Moses didn't give any law that
So
of his own
when
will.
so the sacrificing of David's son, was it David's son or Joseph's son? David's son, correct?
That nobody's son was sacrificed. David's son wasn't sacrificed, nor
He
Joseph's
wasn't. He
son.
was taken away at the last minute, but he was about to.
You talk about
Because God took
Abraham.
it
You talk
away.
about Abraham.
That Abraham. Okay, thank you. Again, I don't have a computer, nothing in front of me. I'm going based off of this. And like I said, I'm cool. But all right, all right. So that was Abraham. You might have to correct me on some of that stuff.
Okay, so
So Abraham. Okay, but he took it
mhm.
away. He was about to. He
No,
was
that
about
was
to.
what kind of sacrifice would that have been? Would that have
To
been a
show
sin
that to
sacrifice?
show love that our children can't matter. This world don't fucking matter. Nothing about this. We're not supposed to want to be here. This is
I don't see anything you're saying within that context.
what do you mean?
Because if you read Genesis chapter 22, it says, "And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham." That
Yeah.
God did tempt or test Abraham and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take
Uh-huh.
now thy son, only son Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I tell thee of. Right?
Okay.
So we
Yeah.
see in context, it says that God did tempt or test Abraham, right?
Yeah. So you just said it.
So hold on, I'm not finished. So when we
Okay.
go down to verse 10, it says, "And
Hmm.
Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thine hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God,
Hmm.
seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me."
Yeah.
So we see in context, it's a test.
Yeah.
It's a test that Abraham was
So
put to.
so
It wasn't
what's your
about a
point in
hold
that
on, brother.
verse?
Hold on.
But okay.
It wasn't about sin. It wasn't about a sin sacrifice.
But he
It
wasn't
was a
also.
test.
But also, God wasn't talking to you. He was talking to Abraham.
Whatever that's supposed to mean.
He told Abraham that doesn't go for all of us. He told that to Abraham.
Okay,
That
what is your
doesn't mean
point?
that goes, huh?
What is your point in saying that?
That was Abraham's thing.
What about it?
That was between God and Abraham. That doesn't
Okay.
go for everybody.
Okay. What point are you getting at? I don't get what you're trying to say.
So you're saying that because Abraham didn't sacrifice his son, that nobody does?
No, God does not accept human sacrifice or the shedding of innocent blood.
Okay. We're
Right.
not
According
talking
to
about human. We're talking
it,
about animal
no, we're
sacrifices.
talking about people, and we're talking about humans, right?
I
God does
guess
not
I'm
accept.
confused.
God does
It's
not accept
okay.
human
So the
sacrifice,
question is blood always required for atonement?
and the answer is no,
Why?
because it's not always required. If you go to Leviticus chapter 5, verse 11, it says,
Mhm.
"But if he be not able to bring two turtle doves or
Okay.
two young
So are you
pigeons."
saying that
Hold
you're
on,
poor
brother.
enough?
Hold on.
Are you saying that
Let me
you're
finish my
poor?
thought, brother.
Are you saying
Brother.
that you can't?
Brother, let me finish what I'm saying. Then you will understand what I'm saying. You can't understand what I'm saying if you keep cutting me off in the midst of my speech.
All right,
So
go
give me
for
a
it.
so give me a second.
All right.
Leviticus 5:11 says, "But if he be not able to bring two turtle doves or two young pigeons, then he that have sinned shall bring for his offering the tenth part of an ephah of fine
Uh-huh.
flour
Okay.
for a sin offering."
Okay.
Right?
So you can't afford two turtle doves?
That's not the point. The
It
point
is.
is,
It says
brother,
if you
listen,
can't
listen,
bring. It
brother,
says
you're too hasty to speak, brother. You're too hasty. Like, have some patience, have some decorum, right? We can have a real good conversation if I can get out my thought and land my plane and finish my sentences. Just give me a second and you will have the floor, right? So according to Leviticus 5:11, it's not about that. It's about,
it is. It
listen,
says it
brother.
is about that. It says
See, brother, brother, let me finish my thoughts. Okay, let me finish my thought, and then you can rebuttal. Okay, let me finish my thoughts, and then you can rebuttal. But if I don't finish my thought, you don't know how I'm going to end my sentence or how I'm going to land my plane. Maybe you will agree, maybe you won't agree, but we'll never know if you won't let me land my plane. Just give me a second. Give me a second. All right. So, according to Leviticus 5:11 or Leviticus 5, you're supposed to bring bulls, lambs, turtle doves, young pigeons for sin offerings. But if you cannot afford those sin offerings, you can atone with fine flour. Fine flour is an acceptable sacrifice for the Most High. Leviticus 5:11. But if he be not able to bring two turtle doves or two young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the tenth part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. So we see fine flour was a sin offering without blood. It was a sin offering. Do you agree with that?
no.
So you don't agree with the text.
Because no, so because I don't agree with the flower. Okay, no, you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I agree 100% with that text because it says if you can't bring,
Okay.
if you can't afford turtle doves.
It doesn't matter what somebody's
Yes, it does. It
no,
says
it
that if
doesn't.
you can't
It
afford,
does. That's not the point, brother.
you're
That's
twisting
not,
the
brother.
words.
That's not the point. You're trying to say, you're basically saying that if somebody is poor, you're asking a question, you can't afford. It's not about if somebody can afford or not. Our point of me bringing this up is to show that fine flour was an atonement for sin. Fine flour, right? Fine flour and no blood. That's the point of me going here. Not to discredit somebody who can't afford a turtle dove or a pigeon or a bull or a lamb. It's to show that you could use fine flour for a sin offering. That's the point. Now, when you run from that point and you make it about money, now we're heading to another direction. The point of the matter is the Most High allowed people who cannot afford a lamb, a bull, or a goat to bring fine flour for sin offering, which is not blood. That is the point. Do we agree there?
You can't afford a $2 goat.
See, this is how you know that this this
See,
this
you're
this this,
skipping it.
this slap
You're twisting.
this just
You're
slaps your whole
you. No, it
ideology.
didn't.
It
You're
just
not
put a
even
it just
focusing on
put
the
a
point.
it just put
It
a
says,
hole
I
straight
agree
in your
with that.
see this
If you
put a
can't
hole,
afford it,
brother. Quit being so hasty to talk, brother. Because we don't have to talk. Because usually when I have conversations with people, I will talk, I'll talk, they'll talk, we'll just talk. But if you're gonna literally interrupt every single point that I'm making before I'm done, it's not gonna work, bro. Like I know you're excited or whatever, what have you, right? You look like an older gentleman, right? So I'm sure you know how to have some type of decorum. Like if you was in a courtroom setting, I'm sure you wouldn't interrupt the judge. If you was in class, I'm sure you wouldn't interrupt your professor. If you were talking to your parents, I'm sure you wouldn't interrupt them or anybody that you have some type of respect for. You would let them land their plane, get their point out, and then rebuttal, right? There's no point to be hasty. Like I don't know if you don't got that much time or what, but let's just start over. Let's just try to start over, man. All right. So again, my point was, if you could not afford a lamb, a bull, or a
Yes.
goat,
Yes.
you can bring
Yes.
fine flour for
Yes.
an atonement. Okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
So so blood sacrifice is not always required.
Not always. No.
Okay.
If you can't afford it.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And God knows if you can afford it.
That's not the point,
It is.
brother. That's
It
not
is.
the point. The
It
point
is.
is you can use fine flour.
If you
You
can't
keep talking
afford it.
about somebody's finances like
That God said it.
everything.
It says it in the text.
It doesn't
That's what
matter
giving.
what it
Do
says
you know
in the
what giving
text.
tithing is? Do you
This
know
is
what
what you're
tithing is?
this is what you're doing. This is what you're doing. I'm gonna tell you what you're doing.
Okay.
We're talking about, is blood always required for atonement?
But in the text that you
Listen what I'm
said,
saying, bro.
okay, you've said this question. I hear you.
So
But
if
I'll
you
let you
hear
repeat
me,
yourself.
then you should not be talking about somebody's finances. You should be like,
I'm
okay, that's fine.
no,
Somebody who
because
cannot
in the
afford a
sentence,
goat or a lamb
in
can use fine flour for a sin atonement, which
yes,
is not blood.
if you can't
Okay.
afford it.
So you act like it's the difference.
Yeah,
Can
because
you
that's what
use
this
fine flour for
yes,
atonement? Yes or no?
yes. If
Okay,
you
then.
can't
That's
afford
it.
it.
That's it.
No, no,
There's no
no.
other. There's nothing else.
You're wrong. You're
All
100%
right, brother.
wrong.
We gonna end this right now, brother. I
Yeah, have a
really
good
don't
day.
got time,
God
man.
bless.
I don't got time for this shit.